Get ready, because today I'm going over the top 5 myths about buying your first home. Hey everybody, it's Zamora with PMZ Real Estate here in Northern California, and today I want to talk about the top 5 myths you might have heard about the home buying process. Myth number 1, you have to have excellent credit in order to buy a home. This is not true. This is like one of the biggest myths that I tend to hit every time I talk to somebody about buying a home is, oh, I don't know if my credit's good enough to buy a home. There are a ton, and I mean a ton, of loan options for people who don't have good credit or don't even have credit or have okay credit. Obviously, the more credit you have or the better your credit is, the easier it is to get a more conventional type loan. But don't think that if you don't have an 800 credit score or something that you're completely out of buying a house. That's just not how it is. Banks and lenders and everybody know that not everybody understands credit or how to get credit or how to obtain good credit. It's kind of like this weird little mismatch of how to do things and how to manage your money. And a lot of people aren't told how to do that. So lenders have these programs for people to qualify for things like home loans, car loans, personal loans, all that sort of stuff. Just because one bank tells you no doesn't mean there isn't a bank out there that can work with you. There are tons of options, so make sure you shop around or make sure you talk to a professional or someone who can get you in contact with a professional. Myth number 2, you have to have 20% of the purchasing price of the home to put down on it in order to get in contract. That's not true. Actually, a lot of people end up not having 20% down of the purchasing price of the home. It is very rare for people to actually sit there and save up, and considering they don't know what the housing price is going to be when they're ready and all that sort of stuff. And anything can change with the price of the house. So you're not going to be guaranteed having 20%. If you do, great. It makes things flow easier. If you don't, that's okay. There are plenty of down payment assistance programs or situations. Every situation is different. So just because you know somebody who's had a certain way or, was told a certain thing doesn't mean that applies to you. In fact, it probably doesn't. Every state has its own programs, everything like that. California has a lot of down payment assistance programs for people to buy homes because guess what? They want people to buy real estate. So don't be discouraged if you don't have 20% down. There are plenty of assistance programs to help. Myth number 3 is that you have to find a house for the full price of the loan that you were approved for. This makes no sense. I don't even know why this is a thing out there because it boggles my mind. So for some reason, people think that if they're approved for $400,000 loan, that they have to find a house that matches that price and they can't look at anything else. Basically, all of the loan that you're pre-approved for is to give you a ballpark idea of what house you can afford. You can't go over your pre-approval rate because that's what you're pre-approved for, but it's the maximum that you can get. Just because you're approved for a maximum amount of money doesn't mean you have to use the full amount. In fact, the less is better because if you find a house that's lower than that, that just means that your monthly payments will be lower and it's more likely that you'll be able to get that because you're approved for way more. Myth number 4 is buying a fixer-upper is cheaper and easier than buying a fully ready to go turnkey home. I can understand where this myth comes from because if houses tend to be a little bit more run down or may need a little bit more work, the sales price will tend to be cheaper than regular ready to go upgraded turnkey homes. That doesn't mean that it's going to be cheaper for you, the buyer. And the reason why I say that is because, yeah, the house of the actual property is cheaper, but think of the cost of everything when you go into it. If you have to put in a lot of money to make that house livable or the way you want it personally, then are you really saving money in the end? So it's kind of like you have to weigh the pros and cons, weigh the work, weigh the costs of the work. Is it something that you can do on your own? Is it some little projects that you can take care of? Or are you going to have to hire professionals? Big things for a fixer-upper can really rack up as far as costs. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're looking at homes. This last myth is a big one for me, and it's because it's what I do. And the myth is you don't need to hire a realtor to buy your home. It's mostly a myth because it's still sort of true. You don't have to have a realtor, but it's kind of like the difference between putting an in-ground pool yourself and hiring somebody to do that. When you're going to look at doing some sort of upgrade to your home or putting solar panels on your house or, doing something like that, you hire professionals. And the reason being is because, one, you might not have all the knowledge. Like, yeah, you could sort of figure your way through it, but you don't have the knowledge to really get it done to the best of the ability or the best quality. And two, it's likely going to be not only easier, but the cost is going to be way down. Let's face it, if you're digging a hole and filling it with cement and calling it a pool, it's not going to be the same thing. And if you run into any challenges that you don't know how to handle, what are you going to do then? It's better to start off with a professional and have it done right, the right way, as streamlined as possible, than having to pull in a professional halfway through or trying to figure it out and piece it all together yourself and then failing or ending up costing more money or getting completely screwed over by somebody. So yes, it is possible to work without one, but if you want it done right and you want it done fast and efficient and as professional and as legal and everything as possible, find a good realtor who is there for you and your concerns and is your person and point person. So you don't have to worry about trying to negotiate with sellers and buyers and banks and lenders and, escrow and mortgages and all this sort of stuff. And that's where people like me come in so we can help you through the process and get you to your perfect home. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in how to find your perfect realtor, click here. And I'll see you next time. This is like my favorite coffee cup, by the way, because it's literally me. It's a Hufflepuff. And if you follow my Instagram, you would know I posted this before, but Hufflepuffs make great real estate agents. You see why? Loyalty, kindness, honesty, and friendship. That's like me to a T. I am so Hufflepuff, and I'm a proud Hufflepuff. I'm a proud Hufflepuff. So yeah, I'm always using this cup, like almost every day. I also have Disney cups because that's me. I am literally like a Disney princess that grew up and became a Disney mom. I'm one of those Disney moms. Or, oh, you know who I am? I just realized. I'm like Aunt Cat from Big Hero 6. That's me like, yeah, burn your face off, even though I can't handle spicy, but yeah, that's totally me. So if you want to know me as a Disney character, that would probably be me now. So yeah, little ramble. That has nothing to do with this video. Nothing at all. So it's probably going to be at the end of the video, if I even put it in.